Good afternoon, everyone. I am Javanya Whittington, the Director of the Office of Homeland Security for Prince George's County. One of the components under the Office of Homeland Security is our emergency management. And today, we're here in the Emergency Operations Center. The Office of Emergency Management is responsible and will be coordinating the upcoming snow event. And we want everybody to know that we are prepared. To discuss our preparedness in particular, I want to introduce our County Executive, Rashawn Baker. Thank you.
Thank you, Gigi. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for being here in our brand new command center. Today, the county shares with the region our storm preparations. We also want to inform residents that we have declared a state of emergency in Prince George's County. This state of emergency will allow us to go to the state for additional resources. In fact, just before this press conference, I received a call from Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford, who called to let us know that any assistance we need from the state, that they are prepared to do that, and that will be helpful to us. We want all our residents to take the storm very seriously as the impact over our region over the next 72 hours. We have been preparing for this event all week, and there are teams of people from public safety behind me to human resources to our health department to every part of Prince George's County's government that stands ready to carry us through this storm. This event is projected to leave behind a significant amount of snow that could cause some very serious damage in the area. So we want people to take precautions. This storm could have power outages, structural damage to buildings, homes as a result of the heavy snow that we see that could come down. We're asking residents to please stay home as the events unfold. Between the heaviest points of the wind and the heavy snow, the winds, the conditions will not be very good for travel outside. So we're asking residents once again to stay indoors. If you don't have to go outside, do not once this comes down. We expect the heaviest part of the snowstorm to happen between this evening and Saturday evening with a mixture of snow and sleet. So over the next 72 hours, please look out for your neighbors, the elderly, and your friends. If possible, move vehicles away so that our snowplows can get through the roads and clear them out. We would also ask, once it has stopped, that you shovel the walkways in front of your house so that our emergency team and public safety who may have to be called out to these neighborhoods can get through so they can help you and your neighbors. Over the next few days, we will be tested in this county and this region. I am confident that we will see this storm through. I will now ask Ronnie Gill, our Director of Emergency Management, and Daryl Mobley, our Director of Public Safety and Transportation, to give us the overview of the preparation of these efforts. Before they come up, I do want to take note that we have every part of our government standing behind you. So we are prepared for this. The best way, as I'm sure they will tell you, to help us out is for you to stay off the roads and allow these men and women who are out here to do their jobs, to clear the ways, and in times of emergency have our fire department and ambulance be able to get to people in a quick manner. With that, Ronnie, Daryl, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. A couple things I wanted to go over with you to give you an idea of what we're doing. One, we're standing up, as the County Executive said, our Emergency Operations Center. And this will allow us within here to collect the data, analyze that data, gather resources, anything that we would need to put the county back together after this event. We'll be able to maintain a continuity within the government as well as with our business partners during this event. We'll be able to maintain communications with not just folks in the county, but our regional partners in the state as well. When the state of emergency was declared, this allows us to utilize resources from the state and other assets, if necessary, federal assets, to manage this event. We'll be able to utilize, for example, the National Guard and have the ability to secure Humvees. When we're looking at 18 inches or more of snow, four-wheel drive vehicles may not be able to get through. So we'll be able to acquire these other resources. As the county exec also alluded to, that we have representatives from every agency that will work in this emergency operations center, from the health departments and social services to our law enforcement to public works and transportation. So any event that would come up, whether it's folks losing power and we have to stand up shelters, we've already put plans in place that we will know where we're taking our residents to. Just to give you an idea who's in here, again, the representatives are behind us, but we have all our public safety agencies. We have our health and human services agencies. We have our transportation department, environmental resources departments. So we're ready to manage this emergency. As you can see, this is a brand new center. We get to test it for the first time, and we're excited. So thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, Mr. County Executive. In preparation for this storm, the Department of Public Works and Transportation has pre-treated roadways. We do have 40,000 tons of salt on hand in our salt domes. We will have 850 men and women working this storm event in 12-hour shifts. In addition to that, we will have 350 snow plows out on the roadways. We will also have 25 pieces of equipment, heavy equipment staged throughout the county, so that we're ready to work on the cleanup operations after the snowfall has occurred. With regards to county transit, the county's bus service will be suspended at 1 p.m. today. We will complete all scheduled dialysis appointments, transportation appointments for today. We will complete all of those today. And as a reminder, snow emergency is in effect. Vehicles folks are strongly encouraged not to park on any snow emergency route. Those vehicles will be towed. With regards to residential parking, we are strongly encouraging residents to park in their driveways. If they do not have driveways, please park on the even numbered side of the streets to ensure that our plows can get through. Due to the exceptional nature of this storm, residents are encouraged to wait at least 24 hours after the precipitation has ended before calling County Click at 311 or going to the snow request form on the county's website or calling the Snow Information Center number at 301-350-0500. We want to again ask that residents wait at least 24 hours after the precipitation has stopped before calling in concerns. I really thank you for the opportunity to brief you this afternoon, and want to encourage all of the motorists to stay off of the roadways. This is a very serious storm. We want to make sure that everyone's safe. Thank you very much.
Questions?
Have you had to revise your plan in the wake of what happened just the other day, just adjusting to an inch, and we saw how unprepared some areas were? Have you had to go back and revise and add more resources? What is the latest? What have you had to do to make sure that this monster storm you're on top of?
Well, one of the things we did was, in the wake of what happened the other day, Wednesday night, is I went to Department of Public Works with Daryl Mobley just to look at our preparation for that little bit and to make sure we're prepared for the heavy storm that's coming. And we are. We pre-treated the roads. We've got the snow plows ready to go. We got the men and women on standby. This command center right here will be looking at this 500 square miles of our county and be able to react to what's going on. So we're prepared for it, and I think that's the thing that we want to emphasize. And if I could just emphasize something that Director Mobley said, and that is for residents to wait until the snow has actually stopped. Because the men and women who are going to come out there and deal with the problems that are going on, whether it's cleaning the roadways or getting to folks, they can't go out there in this heavy snow. And so what we need to do is make sure that's stopped, and then we can get out there and deal with some of the emergencies.
Talk about the steps in terms of where streets will be plowed, starting at the highways.
That's good. Daryl, you want to come up?
Absolutely. Yes, that's a great question. We're going to focus primarily on the major collectors, And then primary and secondary roadways. We need to make sure that all roadways leading to hospitals and things of that nature are addressed first and foremost. Then once the precipitation is ended, at least 24 hours after that, we'll then move into the residential roadways.
You mentioned maybe a couple of examples of some of the roadways.
Exactly. Roadways such as Paint Branch Parkway, Harry Truman, Arena Drive. Those are the types of roadways. Those are major roadways that we'll focus on in the county. In addition to that, the State Highway Administration is working on our interstate system, all the state-numbered roadways. Those roadways are under the jurisdiction of the State Highway Administration. We're primarily focused on all county roadways.
With the possibility of power outages in this storm, what's the plan in regards to reaching out to the most needy residents here in the county, the elderly, the sick, those who need help immediately?
Well, first of all, we will have representatives from all of those, from their utilities in here in the command center, and I'm going to have Ronnie talk about how we're going to coordinate with our human resources folks.
So what we've done is we've identified locations that if folks lost power and did not have heat, we've identified locations that we would get residents to. We'll provide a number throughout the day of numbers they can call to get this service. But that's the social services has done an excellent job. They've when you talk about preparing for this event, meals, folks that would get meals over the weekend, those meals have already been delivered. So things that residents, our vulnerable populations, would look for over the weekend, because we know the intensity of the storm, these services already have been provided.
Is there a phone number or website that folks can contact immediately?
Gloria, we have Director Brown talk about it.
Good afternoon. The Department of Social Services has been preparing for this event all week. We've reached out to anyone that's on our active caseload in a vulnerable situation, checked in with them to make sure that they have utilities and food, and caseworkers are actually taking that information home with them to check in with them over the period of this, especially the ones that we know are extremely vulnerable. In addition, we're working very closely with the Office of Emergency Preparedness to make sure that we have pre-positioning of supplies for our staff once we have to activate a mass care shelter. The phone number, if you come across someone that you think needs sheltering, if you would have them dial 211, we have a plan in place to find transportation and get them to one of our Warm Nights locations.
One of the things I will say is that this emergency command center is new to us in the county. But emergencies aren't. This administration's had its fair share, and so these men and women standing behind me have a lot of practice. And but the main thing is, as I emphasize, is for people to stay off the roads, stay in your houses. There was a time to go out there and to get the things you need, especially those who need medicine. We hope that people have gone out and gotten that, because stores are going to be closed. CVS, 7-Eleven, all those places are going to be closed. They're not going to be places for you to go out. This is going to be at least 72 hours. So be prepared, be safe, get some fun and games in your house, but let these men and women who are putting their lives on the line, who have to be out, let them be able to do their job. Any more questions?
Chief Bayshore, a question
Chief?
for you. Speaking of men and women putting their lives on the line, we obviously know in emergency situations, your department and the police department on the front lines. It's been a tough day so far with some fires. What is the plan for any future emergencies when we're dealing with this amount of snow as well?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of things. It has been a rough day. We're on our third fire of the day so far. We've had over 30 people displaced by fires. Fortunately, Fire and EMS, emergency management, family services work together to make sure those folks are housed, and we've taken care of that. Nobody's left without a plan. So that's done. We have upstaffed stations. We have additional assets ready to go, whether it's a collapse, the confined space, all of those things that we deal with outside of the fires and EMS. All of the chains for the ambulances and the fire trucks, all of those things are ready to go. It's just a matter of getting out there. Two things that are critical for folks. One is fire hydrants. We ask people to adopt a fire hydrant. If you haven't gone outside of your house and figured out where the closest fire hydrant is, please do it now, because you don't need us or yourself searching for it when it's covered in 2 or 3 feet of snow. need to make sure if people can adopt a fire hydrant now and then help us dig it out when it comes time so that it's dug out before we need it. That's valuable time that we won't have to waste finding a hydrant or trying to dig it out. And the other is smoke alarms and CO detectors. The smoke alarm this morning alerted 26 people to the fire on Queens Chapel Road. Cannot emphasize enough the importance of making sure you have that. So when you're out getting your bread, milk, and toilet paper, which I think most people have already probably gotten, get a smoke alarm at the same time. And carbon monoxide detectors, the last thing. We talk about generators. We talk about all the things that people use. Make sure that generators are used in an uncovered outside environment, not in a garage, not under a porch. It needs to be an uncovered outside environment. The carbon monoxide detector is the best defense against making sure it doesn't build up.
You mentioned putting chains on the tires. Are you worried at all about response times, just clearing that snow? I know the fire trucks are up a little bit, but we're kind of 2 feet here.
When we get to 2 feet, we begin to rely on the National Guard and the assets that the state could bring in with those Humvees. We have had situations where we just can't get from point A to point B, and firefighters literally end up on foot walking with baskets to go pick people up in ambulance, to get them to an ambulance situation. But we will lean back towards the emergency management office if that occurs. Not something we haven't done before. As the county executive said, we've been down this road before, so we're ready for that. I think it's important that folks know, whether it's, and I'll speak for the police department as well, I guess, but whether it's police, fire, EMS, we're going to be delayed getting to folks. You cannot expect when you call 911 during a 24-inch or 30-inch storm that response time is going to be the same. It's not. So we'll get there as quickly as we can. No call will go unanswered, but we'll get there as quickly as we can.
Why don't we have Chief Sawinski, why don't we have him come up and talk about the police during this time?
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. The police department has been preparing for this event as well over the last 72 hours. We've taken the resources that we had pre-scheduled to deal with emerging crime trends and reallocated them to specific locations along major thoroughfares. We've asked those officers to sit in the open with their overhead lights on. So for the community's benefit, if you need assistance, if you for some reason don't have access to a phone, look along the major thoroughfares and you'll find a police officer out there ready to help you. We've also coordinated with all our partners across county government. Those officers will be in a position to help people get from where they are to where they need to be, particularly with respect to social services, or to help our friends in the fire department should they find themselves struggling. Beyond that, we have one of my deputies or myself will be in the command post for the next 72 hours. So there's direct oversight of all of our operations to ensure that this goes smoothly, and should resources be needed, we stand ready to put them where they need to be. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Be safe out there, and these men and women are about to go to work. Thank you. Good job.